Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Israelite Advanced Bible Study, Tuesday night, the 2nd of July, 2024. I'll be reading out of Joshua, chapters 82 and 83. We have a little more time. I may read another chapter. So you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. We have over 1,000 videos that you can check out, examine them. These videos and the information will lead you into the truth of the Holy Scripture. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, we have our cash app at the bottom of the screen for those that feel the need to support the channel. Okay. Our hours of operation are Tuesday nights, Wednesday and Thursday nights. We on live from 7 to 9. Okay, and then we come back on Friday nights, but we on Clubhouse. And our Clubhouse room is non-Masonic Conversations, and that's where we have our men's advanced Bible study night. Our men's advanced Bible study is from 7 to 9 also Central Time. Okay, and then we have 2 Shabbats, Shabbat classes on the Shabbat. One in the morning, 10 to 12 a.m. Then we come back and close the Shabbat out from 6 to 7 p.m. Okay. This is a non-Masonic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. We don't subscribe to the New Testament, JC, the Apostles, all that is, that's for the Gentiles. Okay. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Israelite Bible study. Okay, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. We got some current events, some need to know information, and then we'll go into our Q&A and dialogue. Then we go into our topic, which is a discussion, which is out of Joshua, chapters 82 and 83. Okay, so with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David and Solomon, Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad, for we know that you possess the power to turn us. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimonies and your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this time. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, read the Psalms. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalms 30. It's Thanksgiving for deliverance from death. Psalm of David, right? I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave, and thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down into the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor is life. weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by thy favor, thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou hast hid thy face, thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Lord, and unto the Lord I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee, and shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Lord, and have mercy upon me. Lord, be thou my helper. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praises to thee and not be silent. O Lord my God, I give thanks unto thee forever. So this was a song of David, a song he's singing this song to the Lord for delivering him from death. So let's look at what we talk about. So uh, it says in verse 2, O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought me up. Thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down into the pit. So, like I said before, when you understand what the difference in the soul and the body, the body is it's like a jacket uh, that the Most High created. When you go back to the beginning, when he formed Adam on the ground. That was the back. That was the body. Then he says he breathed the breath of life into the body. That's the soul. So right here, David the past, right, and then the Lord, like I told you, the roles of those angels. It's in the book, my book, his story, right? The God of Israel. So the angel came. The angel comes for the righteous folks, and he delivered their soul, just like at the birth, when the woman conceived and the body was being formed inside her stomach. They bring the spirit, put it in the body. So when after they've endured their time on earth and pass away, they come and guide their spirit, their body, their spirit, their soul back to heaven. So David is saying right here, Psalms 30, O Lord my God, verse 2, Psalms 30 and 2, O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down into the pit. So, like I said, that's the role of these angels. So when he says, you have delivered my soul from the pit, it ain't Yahweh, it's an angel, right? So anyway, if you go to 2 Samuel, you'll see what David talking about. In 2 Samuel 23, I think it is, maybe 22. Let me look. 2 Samuel chapter 23, 22. Yeah, chapter 22. We see that just like David said in Psalms 30, he says in 2 Samuel 22 and 4, I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. When the ways of death, it takes you to Psalms 80, Psalms 30, the ways of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. So that's these wicked spirits that came from these giants. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. So when he passed away, he departed his earthly body, he found himself surrounded by these wicked spirits in hell. So verse 6, the sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. So prevented him from rising, the spirit. That's why he's saying go down into the pit. When they pass away, they go down. But the spirit of these Adam's descendants, they and Israelites, they are sin. So it says, the sorrow of hell compassed me about, snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and I cried to my God. And he heard my voice out of the temple, and my cry out entered into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of the heavens moved and shook because of his wrath. Then he went up. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, fire out of his mouth. The fire of coals were kindled. And he bowed down. The heavens also came down. Darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherubim, and he did fly. And he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness a pavilion round about him, dark waters, thick clouds of the sky. And through the brightness before him, coals were kindled. And then it says, the Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, scattered these wicked spirits and these giants, lightning, and discomfited them, and the channels of the sea appeared, and the foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. And he sent from above, took me, and drew me out of many waters. He delivered me, so saved me from my strong enemies and from them that hate me, for they were too strong for me. Like they prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. So when he passed, left his body, they tried to hold him. The Lord came and got him. So if you go back to Psalm 30, you'll see what he's talking about. It says, Psalm 30 verse 1, I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord, my God, I cried. So we saw that over in 2 Samuel 22. I cried unto the Lord, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought my soul from the grave, right? And has kept me alive, that I should not go down into the pit. Then it says, 4, sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. So it's a lot going on. So notice verse 4 says, David commanded the saints, which are the Israelites, right? Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints, and give thanks at his remembrance of his holiness. So when you understand who these saints are, we know that at the end, Daniel told us in the book of Daniel about the 4 beasts. At the end of the 4 beasts, a stone is going to hit that image, and it's going to go scatter like dust in the wind. And then the saints of the Most High going to take the kingdom. So just like right here, what he did with David, is the same thing happened with the rest of the Israelites. Maybe not in that manner, that drastic or in that way, but all the saints was delivered like that. And actually, Ezekiel 37, that's what Ezekiel 37 is all about. Him promising the Israelites before they passed, they knew that they was going to get resurrected, and that they was going to judge those fallen angels and judge those spirits and all that. That's what it's all about. Okay. Any comments on that? No comments? Okay. Go to the current event. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me see a little bit. Okay.
In Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, including their departure from ECOWAS and the expulsion of French forces, have granted them the ability to make independent decisions that benefit their countries without encountering external obstacles. Recent reports from Burkina Faso indicate a significant decrease in terrorism since severing ties with France. Furthermore, Niger has emerged as the fastest growing economy in Africa following its disassociation from France. Extensive research has been conducted to gain a deeper understanding of the current revolutionary situation in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, as well as the plans of their new leaders following the severance of ties with Western countries. This research aims to explore the potential involvement of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso in joining BRICS with the assistance of Russia. To comprehend the possible engagement of these countries with BRICS, it is important to start from the beginning for a comprehensive understanding. BRICS has publicly expressed its intention to eliminate the dominance of the US dollar in global trade and transactions by the end of 2024. The alliance aims to prioritize local currencies to bolster their respective economies and businesses. The bloc is also actively persuading other developing countries to follow suit and settle cross-border transactions in their own currencies. This shift would contribute to a significant strengthening of these countries' currencies against the US dollar, leading to enhanced economic prospects and prosperity. The full implementation of this initiative is anticipated to have a substantial impact on the value of the US dollar, potentially resulting in a significant decline. The potential consequences of these developments could have far-reaching implications for the geopolitical and socioeconomic influence of the United States on the global stage. Some experts have likened it to a severe blow to the United States, raising concerns from both the US and EU about the possible ramifications. Furthermore, there are ongoing discussions regarding the participation of various nations in the BRICS group and the potential effects on their economies. Specifically, questions arise regarding whether Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger will choose to join BRICS and how such a decision might unfold. As we are aware, the West African countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger possess abundant reserves of valuable minerals that play a crucial role in the evolving global economy. Burkina Faso, as the fourth largest producer of gold in Africa, significantly contributes to the continent's overall gold output. Similarly, Mali achieved a remarkable gold production of 66.2 tons in 2022, solidifying its position as a key player in the global gold market. Niger, on the other hand, proudly holds the distinction of being the seventh largest producer of uranium worldwide, offering a high-grade.
Do you own your own home in Louisiana, but still rent your electricity for
grade ore that is in high demand? Gold is increasingly recognized as a reliable store of value in a world that is moving away from heavy reliance on the US dollar, while uranium is set to power the growing global demand for clean energy through nuclear power. Recalling a significant event on January 29, 2024, Niger's Prime Minister, Ali Mohamed Lamine Zeine, warmly welcomed a substantial delegation from the BRICS group. This high-profile meeting underscored the increasing attention and commitment of BRICS countries towards Niger, a nation that boasts abundant natural resources despite being landlocked. During these substantial discussions, the focus centered around strengthening economic and trade ties between Niger and the BRICS member states, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Areas of particular interest included potential collaborations in the mining, agriculture, energy, and transport infrastructure sectors. Niger has a strong interest in advancing its transport infrastructure as it recognizes the pivotal role it plays in driving economic progress. The BRICS, renowned for their expertise and substantial resources in this field, are well positioned to contribute significantly to Niger's infrastructure development. Currently, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali have formed an alliance called AES, which presents them as a unified entity. Consequently, if Niger becomes a member of BRICS, it is likely that Burkina Faso and Mali would also be involved in the alliance. To provide a better understanding, on January 28, 2024, the military leaders of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic made a significant announcement regarding their country's membership in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. They declared their joint decision to withdraw from the regional bloc, citing what they perceived as inhumane sanctions imposed by ECOWAS following the coups that brought them to power. The announcement was broadcasted simultaneously on the state television channels of all three countries, underscoring their assertion of complete sovereignty over the matter. In their joint statement, the leaders criticized ECOWAS for allegedly deviating from the noble ideals of its founding fathers and the principles of Pan-Africanism, which the bloc had upheld for nearly 50 years. They contended that ECOWAS, under external influence, had strayed from its mission to ensure the well-being of its member states and their populations. In response to this announcement, ECOWAS issued a statement clarifying that had not been formally notified of the decision by the three countries to leave the bloc. Because emphasized that its protocol stipulates a withdrawal process that takes up to 1 year to complete, the bloc reiterated the significance of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali within the community and expressed its commitment to seeking a negotiated resolution to the ongoing political challenges.
So I don't know if anybody familiar with this or know the ramifications of it, but these three countries that we've been hearing about in the news in the process of joining the BRICS. So that's going to be, we know that Saudi Arabia just disconnected itself from the dollar, from the deal they had with the petrodollar. So that was a serious blow. And then now this. So the reason why I'm dealing with this is because of they have you thinking that the American economy is stable, but it ain't. So if it was to all hell was to break loose tomorrow or tonight, it wouldn't surprise me because that's the way it's said. But everybody's fooled. The average person is fooled by trusting in what these people tell them and not looking around and seeing signs that this place is it's not stable. It's by it's coming loose. It's coming loose by the threads. So let's look at this. Any comments on that? Okay.
I'm sick and tired of these liars lying about the economy. They're lying straight to our faces. And recent reports on the inflation and labor markets all seem to sing the praises of a healthy economy,
it's
right?
9 hours ago.
Corporate mainstream media, which of course wants President Biden to be reelected and put back into office to do their bidding. This is what they want. According to President Biden, the economy has never been better. According to the mainstream media, the economy is the best it's ever been. Really? So why are so many Americans suffering right now? That makes no sense. It's all out of whack. In fact, he claims the economy is so good, he put his name on it. The White House claims that Bidenomics is working and the economy is being built out from the middle out, right? The middle out and the bottom up. Middle class is growing and the bottom up. People at those levels are being lifted up. I mean, what kind of fantasy world are they living in? Most Americans are still feeling a lack of confidence about the current and future economy. They're just flat out lies. In fact, a recent poll by Gallup found that 45% of Americans rate the economy as poor, and 63% say that high prices are causing moderate or severe financial hardships. And I'll give you some other data. The number one thing that most Americans are concerned about right now is the economy. Yes, inflation. There's a massive mismatch right now between the messaging from the Biden administration and the reality for most Americans. So why this disconnect? Now, if we're seeing data showing a healthy labor market, cooling inflation, steady interest rates, why aren't Americans feeling the benefits? I mean, no matter what inflation is doing, prices are and will continue to be higher than pre-pandemic times. And sadly, this is the new normal. The prices of many goods, including groceries, skyrocketed during the age of COVID, but they haven't gone down. In fact, companies are continuing to raise their prices in order to expand their profits right now. They realize that the consumer is expecting prices to rise, so they know they can get away with it. This is a term economist Isabella Weber coined as greedflation, excessive price increases that companies use to take advantage of high inflationary periods to grow their profits.
The CEO of Kroger recently said,
"A little bit of inflation is always good in our business."
Lindsay Owens runs a progressive economic think tank that scours the earnings calls corporations hold for stock analysts and investors, like this one from Constellation Brands, which sells beer, wine, and spirits.
We're going to look at this on a market-by-market basis, brand-by-brand basis, and we'll take as much pricing as we think the consumer can absorb.
one of my favorite examples is Tyson Foods.
Purveyor of 1 out of every 5 pounds of beef, chicken, and pork sold in the U.S. Here's Tyson's chief financial officer on their latest quarterly results.
Our pricing actions led to approximately $2.1 billion in sales and price mix benefit during the quarter, which offset the higher cost of goods sold of $1.6 billion.
In other words, says Owens,
our pricing is taking into account the cost of raw materials and the cost of labor, but more than offsetting it. And that more than offsetting it is that additional profit that they're able to bring in.
Absolutely. I mean, just go to a Chipotle, right? Pay $11 for a burrito and then see the record profits the company is making right now. McDonald's, you know, look at their share price right now on Wall Street, you know, all-time highs, right? So McDonald's is doing really well. I guess it makes sense when you've got $11 Happy Meals and the dollar menu is gone. Got rid of the dollar menu for a reason. Charge $4 instead of $1. So on top of elevated grocery prices, housing costs have risen in every way imaginable from a few years ago. The prices of housing, mortgage rates, rents have all gone up. So of course, Americans don't feel positive about the economy when they're struggling to pay for housing and groceries right now. In addition to rising costs across the board, many Americans have less expendable income, thanks to resuming student loan payments, the end of COVID checks, the free government money, and then of course, high rates on credit cards. And of course, the state of layoffs across the country is certainly affecting Americans' perspective of the economy. So we're seeing over and over again, 2024 is the year of the layoff. Thousands. I mean, layoffs in February hit their highest level for the month since the year 2009. We know what happened in 2008, 2009. So while you might be hearing reports on big news networks about job growth and cooling inflation and lowering interest rates, remember that during an election year, you're especially likely to hear a lot of emotionally charged and persuasive rhetoric from both sides. The sad reality is that many Americans are drowning in debt and struggling to pay for necessities, no matter how many headlines that say the contrary. And there are a lot of turbulent factors affecting the American people right now. Many folks are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're drowning in credit card debt and debilitated by student loan payments. There's plenty of data out there that suggests that most Americans are ill prepared for retirement as well, and even worse, have little to no emergency funds to speak of. As we've discussed time and time again on our show, our society and our economy have deep-rooted systemic issues that are designed to set people up for failure. It doesn't matter who is in the White House. It goes so much deeper than that. We've built continuous debt in this nation, regardless of whether Trump was president, Biden was president, Clinton was president. The national debt has exploded. Wall Street, companies, Congress all have their own best interests in mind. We'll get back to the video in a minute, but first, inflation is out of control and you've got to protect your money. Annie proven that it is the number one way to build wealth and to protect wealth. I've got decades of experience now that have proven it. Now, while there's several ways you can invest in real estate, most of my channel, I hope that you take away this message. These systems are not designed to serve you. If you follow them, you will fail. The only way to break out of this broken, outdated system is by building your financial intelligence and take ownership over your future right now.
So if you're listening to that, you can see where greed, like I was saying, you know, they would, you notice every time a natural disaster happened, instead of them considering what's going on with the populace, they just jack their prices up, all behind greed to get as much money as they can while they can. And with this thing right here, once they started jacking the prices up, they going higher and higher and higher. To the, you know, and it's all about greed. And like I said before, it goes back to it goes back to the DNA. If somebody that's when the Most High says is righteous, they're not gonna do that. You're already making money, but they so greedy to whatever, like the lady said, whatever we can get by with. If we charge them $12 and nobody ain't saying nothing, we're gonna try them for $15. See what they do. And so that's all the way across the board. And actually, that's gonna be their demise. That same greed gonna be their demise. Any comments on that?
Shalom, everyone. They are taking more shortcuts, like you said, to put more money in their pocket, not to take care of the employees. So in an area where you may have had 10 employees before, they're cutting it down to 4 or 5, but the work is still there and they're not giving them a raise for picking up. So you got to work extra harder because they're taking these shortcuts to put more money in their pocket. they, like you said, they're greedy. They're never, satisfied. So when you take those shortcuts like that, you got to look at the poor quality of work that's being, put out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, right, right. They was getting along just fine. They had the employees they had decent pay with the employees. They was making decent money. They just greedy. Now they know what they didn't pretty much double the prices, but you don't want the employee to get none of the money. You want to keep them at where they at or lower they pay, but you still increasing your profits and benefits. So it's ramifications to that. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So need to know information.
Hello, my viewers, and welcome back to my channel. Breaking news that has sent shockwaves across the nation as the House passes a controversial military bill targeting Gen Zs. Now, I want you to be part of this conversation by sharing your own thoughts on what you think about this development.
Yeah,
now,
we talked about this on a couple occasions, but on this particular video right here, it's a little more information being revealed. The reason I'm playing it.
Proposed legislation mandates military draft registration for individuals between 18 and 26 years old, specifically men between that age, with severe consequences for non-compliance. Failure to register can lead to a felony charge, denying individuals access to state student loans and grant programs in 31 states. Now, in this video, we'll hear from concerned citizens who share their thoughts on this alarming development. From fears about the looming threat of war to worries about the erosion of civil liberties, their comments reveal a generation on age. As the sister so aptly puts it, we are already in war. Forget what you see, what they tell you, it's already happening. So join me as we take a look into the implications of this bill and what it means for the American people. The future of the youth, their freedom, the democracy, hang in the balance. Check out these videos. I will be right back.
So they have passed start the draft for your kids, 18 years of age to 26. Those kids don't get involved, it can be a felony. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either way is a tragedy. Either way, because it's just, if you know me, you know I know things that most people don't know. One, this can actually stick. And because it's done in the NDAA. And so if this sticks, yeah, they want to send your kids to war. Gen Z. This can be a selling point for Trump, or Trump can step in and say, "Oh, I'm going to shut it down," and I promise to shut it down. Then everyone will root for Trump even more, just like you're doing now. So this could also be a tool that's used for the people to, we want Trump even more. And so then Trump says, yeah, he'll shut it down, and kids won't have to go to war. He's going to stop everything that's going on, etc. Either way, it's a tragedy. So yeah, this has been passed. It's on Fox News, but unfortunately, maybe there's going to be a war where they just send everybody to war, all the young people to war, and you know how that can go. But it is what it is. So maybe you and your kids may want to leave this country because of that situation. Because yeah, that's going to go extremely bad if your kids have to go to war. Well, if you know what I know, you know what this is really all about. And if your kids go to war, there is a chance you'll never see them again. I can't give you advice on this topic, but if it were me and I was 18 to 26, I'll take the felony. If I could, I would move out of America. But if I don't move out of America, I would take the felony. Because having a criminal record, you can still make millions. Like me.
And so by now we all have heard that the House has passed a defense bill for men between the ages of 18 and 26 for the draft. Now, I hope everybody knows we are already in war. Forget what you see, forget what they're telling, whatever they're reporting, it has already happened. Number one, Russia already started drafting. There's this called like a partial draft. I can't dive into that because I don't have much information on what Russia got going on. Now, there's a bill called H.R. 8070 where women could be required to also be included in the draft. But the House of Representatives, mainly the Republican Party, more or less was voting for this. The legislation goes through automatically. So where one would have to register, it automatically registers you. Oh, my thing is, I don't think our government, the people in operationalize the bigwigs, I don't think they realize the generation that is out here in these streets. We are a generation of the Kia boys. If you know, then you know. Really, sign them Kia boys up. Y'all got so much AI, use AI. Use your little AI people that y'all done created. Actually, I don't think this generation is going. These Gen Zs, these whatever people they are, they're not going. This generation is the type of generation, oh, send me to jail. I'll just go sit for the 2 years. That is the generation we live in. Ain't nobody signing up these kids. Don't nobody even trust. I can't say what I want to say. Okay, for the sake of this video, the people in upper echelons, the big wigs, the G people, okay, the house people and all of that, that's what we gonna call them. Nobody trusts y'all. We don't trust nothing no more. Nobody cares anymore. We're doing our own thing out here. We're deciding what we want to do. It is going to be a complete uprise if this happens. When I say an uprise, y'all can go ahead and do this drive. See, they have to drive people because they know ain't nobody messing with them. The people that personalize the big wig people, the G people in the G place. Nobody's messing with the G people anymore. We're not going for it. We're not here for that. And this is so unfortunate because we are really looking at the end times. Unfortunately, we are headed for some times of sorrow, some dark times. We really are. And Christians all over this app, all over the world, has been trying to warn people. God has been giving people prophetic word, have been using people to get his word out, to let you know that dark times are coming, that times of sorrow will be coming. These are the times that we are living in. The G people and the people at the echelons, the big wigs, this ain't it. I'm telling y'all, it is getting ready to be a situationship. Not only the kids ain't going, but the millennials, people like me and other people, we not sending our kids. Don't sit back and let it happen. I'm in confusion what people think this is. Are already in the situationship, the W word. I'm trying to use words, child, people on this app, child. Anyway, we are already in a situationship with the W, and it is. They're not just being honest. Why do y'all think our food is being attacked and so many different things are happening? That's not by chance. They're just not telling us. You have bottled water recall. Are you kidding me? Like, stop playing with me for real. It's safe to say that we have been in the W for a long time, and long time before today. So this is not just something that they just decided to put in place. This is something they actively knew we were walking into. There's ever been a time for you to pray specifically over your young adults that you have, your daughters and your sons? Lord, protect them. Do not allow them to be the ones to have to go. This is a time to start praying that prayer of protection over them. But not only that, specifically, Lord, protect our family. Put a glitch in the system. Glitch it, Lord, glitch it.
The House just passed a defense bill that will automatically register young men between the ages of 18 to 26 for selective services. What does that mean for the American people? Life is once again a blood sport. All that going to college, paying Uncle Sam to work a desk job shit is dead. It's back to the battlefield, because if you 18 through 26 and the Senate passed this bill, because the House already passed it, you're going to have to kiss your mom and daddy goodbye at 18 and make your way to protecting this country once again. What if I refuse it? What if I don't go? Failure to register is a felony. Yeah, you're going to jail. And on top of that, you'll never get a student loan and you'll never get a grant. And it's active in 31 states. So if you're thinking about bucking the system, you could cut it out, because only 14 people in history, because this shit came out in 1917. I know I'm giving y'all a history lesson, but keep up. Ever since 1917, it only been 14 people that denied the draft. So if you choose to buck the system, you stupid as fuck. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about your son no longer having dreams of going to college, becoming a YouTuber or a gamer, because he has to pick up a rifle, an AK-47, a Draco, and make his way to go nose to nose with Russia and China. Let me know how that make you feel.
Never in the history of America has the U.S. government gone out of its way, of its own volition, to make the lives of its citizenry easier. So we have to ask ourselves, when was the last time we saw any citizen out there fighting a fight to get automatically registered into a draft? We've seen citizens fight to get automatically registered to vote. We've seen citizens fight to automate the tax process. But we've never seen anybody saying like, God damn, the one thing I just don't want to do is have to go into a government building and register for the draft. That's never happened. What the US government is trying to do is streamline its ability to throw its citizens into the meat grinder that is war. It's trying to streamline its ability to throw felonies at citizens who don't want to go to war. They've read the tea leaves. They understand that military recruitment is at a 40-year low, and they've learned their lessons, not just from that, but also from the Vietnam War and our silent generation grandparents and great-grandparents. They're trying to make it as difficult as possible for people to skip town and run to Canada or Mexico or some shit when there is a conflict that we are inevitably going to have to join. Like, we're going to need the numbers for. And this should be concerning for everyone. Like, as a veteran, I understand that the government has the ability to recall me back into service whenever they so choose. But this streamlines its ability to place that obligation on all of its citizens. Citizens who, I guarantee you, are not prepared to go to war. Most American citizens are not mentally prepared for armed conflict. But the government is letting us know that a body is a body, and when they call on you, you better show the fuck up, or you're gonna go to prison.
You know what? I got time today. I'm gonna be petty right now. Y'all young motherfuckers that keep spamming Unc in the comments, let me tell y'all something. I'm 27 years old. Your government just passed a bill. 18 to 26 years old, you're automatically registered for the draft. And I feel bad for the ones that's just turning 18 years old. Do you find it weird that all of a sudden now we're enemies to Russia? Now we're a threat to them? They need the manpower, buddy. Now you spamming Unc in the comments, they're coming for your ass first. And little old Unc, little old Draco, gonna be sitting right here with his old ass. Get out of these comments and open a book. Do some research. Search up Project 2025. Think this shit a joke. That little Unc joke that you think is hitting, it ain't gonna hit the same in about a year. Oh, Draco, don't worry about it. I'ma just do the jail time. You think you're doing the jail time in a USA jail? You better do your research, buddy. I'm a full-time content creator. I literally have all the time in the world to sit on the computer. I do research.
Now, the House passed a large defense bill Friday evening that included a provision that would automatically enroll young men between the ages of 18 and 26 for the Selective Service. Now, the House's version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which would authorize $895 billion in military spending, passed by a vote of 217 to 199, it's unlikely to be picked up by the Democrat-controlled Senate because of numerous amendments regarding unaliving of unborn babies, diversity efforts, and transgender medical treatments. Now, the Selective Service provision, though, is part of an enduring bipartisan effort to keep the framework for military conscription in place, even though the draft ended in 1975. Now, automatic registration would replace the coming-of-age tradition that all 18-year-old male U.S. citizens experience when they get a card in the mail from Uncle Sam informing them that they are required under threat of criminal penalties to register for the Selective Service. Now, supporters of the legislation framed it as a more efficient and cost-effective method. By using available federal databases, the Selective Service Agency will be able to register all of the individuals required and thus help ensure that any future military draft is fair and equitable. Now, Rep. Chrissy Holland said on the House floor, this will also allow us to rededicate resources. Basically, that means money towards reading readiness and towards mobilization, rather than towards education and advertising campaigns driven to register people. The other unspoken effect would be removing young men's choice to engage in civil disobedience. The draft is a hobby horse for Holohan, an Air Force veteran. Now, she also spearheaded a House bill in 2021 to require women to register with the Selective Service, effective.
Okay. Any comments on that? No comments? Yeah, so okay.
Yes. What Ukraine did was take all their young, unqualified men and push them out there to fight. And then the ones that could fight, these are the ones who still fighting. And
Yeah, you low.
Children that died. So now here in the U.S.
You low.
Okay. Yeah.
Voice is low.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I said, once it came in, once we were hearing about the draft, it triggered me to think about Ukraine and how their leader took all their young people, unqualified fighters, to go out there and fight. And once they were gone, or they met their demise, then they put their other fighters, people that could fight, and in place. Here in the United States, I'm looking at it 4 years ago, starting with the Roe versus Wade and coming up to date here about the abortion, because I believe they knew that they want to make sure they can repopulate this United States by people not getting abortions, having children. And now they're starting with the 18-year-olds. Like she said, they said, they're fresh. They don't know what to do. Some of them don't want to do it. A whole lot of people are not in with this. Children haven't, this is a draft. It's like mandatory, have to be there, or they already put you on the list. I was looking it up. It says it's going to be a lottery how they draft these young people into the service. It may be by their birth date, by the area where they live. There's a lottery how they're going to pull the people in that they have drafted. And so it's not immediately the 18-year-olds, because they're going to be having them training per se. And just the 26-year-olds that going to get trained, but yet they're going to be the ones out there also. But the 18-year-olds, the 19-year-old and the 20-year-olds, that's how they'll probably be the last to actually go if they do anything, if the war comes about, to do anything. So yes, it's a panic to have that being said. Yes, it's a panic to say who's gonna, go to jail, or these rappers who's coming up now, they're in the age between 20 and 26. These people all walks of life of the children from 18 to 26 are, are now, like they said, is already in the draft. So I'm unaware of it. I haven't really heard anything on the actual news. And like you said, we have to go to other news stations to look at what's going on in the United States versus being in the United States, looking at the news, because they're not going to actually tell us anything or show anything on the news that was really happening. And here, we always hear about foreign things, but we got to look at the foreign to tell, to see what's going on in our own country.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, yeah. So me looking at this, we've got to remind people that look at what we know about the end times, and that the Most High said He's going to gather His people from all four corners of the world. But where is Israel mainly at? Especially the head, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. They over here in the West, right? So look at what happened when they came out of Egypt, and a lot of people don't know it, but it was the children. They wandered in the wilderness for 40 years because He got rid of the elders, the older ones, because they wasn't willing to make the adjustment, stuck in their ways, whatever you want to call it. So that's when the spies came. They went with this. They forgot what the Lord of hosts had done in Egypt. And so when they saw these giants, they wanted to go back to Egypt, and they sided with the spies, the 10 spies that came with the bad report. So they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years to get rid of those people, those unbelieving people. So when the time came for them to go into the land of Israel, it was Joshua and Caleb and all the children from 1 to 20 years old, right? So look where we at, and look what they're doing. 18 to 26, they're telling the youth. And you know the Most High got prophecy also, they call all the way back to Enoch, 70th generation. He's gonna, it's gonna wake up. But the trick to this thing is, it ain't nothing new, because if you go back to Vietnam and look at the things that was happening, it was the youth. It was turmoil all over America. It was the youth. That's the strength of Israel. Actually, it's the strength of any nation. So what they do, they send them to war, to the Vietnam War. They killed off, it's like I was saying before in a video I had. I talked about it. Was we know that you got the mother, the father, then that son, that second son. That first son and second son they just like a daddy to you too, especially with us, with the big families. That older boy, that older son, he's just like a daddy too. He's like a second daddy. So they got rid of that. Got rid of a lot of the fathers in the household, but they killed off all those. Look at what, like the Bible say, young bulls, young lions. They killed off a whole generation of them because of what was going on. Those were the ones, reason why all the turmoil was going on in America. They was bucking the system. They was tired of the bull crap. So here we are again. And so remember what the lady said that they had that meeting. I played the video. They said that the youth, the black youth in America is a problem. That's their concentration. It's the black youth. So look at this bill. It's staring us right in the face. But we already know if you like I said, when 10 spies came and told those Israelites what was in the land of Israel, the first thing they should have did was remember what happened, what they saw the Lord do in Egypt. So the same thing right here. When the time is coming that you're going to stand up for the Lord. Whenever all this go down, we already know the prophecy is that our tribulation that we was in we at the end of it. So whatever it is they got planned, we know what He's gonna do with it. He's gonna spoil it, like He said. But these are the things that these people doing. Everybody fumbling with it because the average person don't even know they're a damn Israelite, and they don't know nothing about the scriptures. They riding off of JC in the New Testament when it has nothing to do with us. And so this is what's happening. Like I said, Judah, Benjamin, Levi is over here. So when they send out this decree, because that's what it is, it's going to directly affect Judah, Benjamin, Levi specifically. That's the head. So that's what's going on. And like I said before, you got to know. If you don't know, this thing ain't going on too much longer. It's at a head. When you look at it and understand what's actually going on, and you eliminate all that rigmarole that's over in the New Testament, it's at a head. We right at our Savior and our Redeemer showing up, us being delivered. That's what we at. Because they stacking the deck. They in desperation. Yeah. Okay. Any comments on what was said? Anybody got anything else on that? Yeah. So I'll open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything that they came across? In their searching out the internet or searching out the YouTube or anything they wanted to bring up, get some clarity on. Questions, comments?
Shalom. No, sir.
Okay. Let me play this right here. I think this is important too. So everybody knows what's going on with Biden.
As you all know, Vice President Kamala Harris is making her rounds to various Black organizations trying to get the Black voter back on board because her and Joe know that Black voters are not happy with them, and they have seen about a 20% drop in Black voters saying that they will vote for them in the upcoming election. Now, that drop is set to take place between 2020 and now. So, of course, they're concerned. So she's going to go out there and speak to Black people and say, hey, this is what me and Joey have done for you, right? Which is absolutely nothing specifically. So anyway, she sat down with 100 Black Men organization, and she was interviewed by that of Steve Harvey, who is a comedian, a clown, if you ask me. And she said a whole host of things. But within that, Steve asked her about leadership, what advice she has for leaders. And this is what she said. Check it out.
And don't ever hear it when somebody says to you, oh, nobody like you has done that before. Oh, it's not your time. Oh, you're too young. Oh, and then this is one I love. Oh, it's going to be hard work. Don't you ever listen to that. I like to say, I eat no for breakfast. That's right. I don't hear no. And don't you either.
So as you heard her say, you know, people are going to tell you it's too hard and you can't do this and that, this, that, and the other. She says, I eat no's for breakfast, so never let anybody tell you no. And you know what? I'm going to take her advice because y'all remember when she said this?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
Of course, y'all heard her say, I'm not going to do anything just for Black people. Say it with me. No. So we're not going to take no for an answer. We're going to actually take your advice. And so we want our reparations, Kamala, and go tell Joe Biden we want our reparations. Now, y'all them both told us no. I'm not going to be made to feel responsible for what my ancestor did 300 years ago. And of course, you told us no. So we're not going to listen to you tell us no. And in fact, what we're going to do is start telling you no more often. No, we will not vote for you. No, we will not show up for more of nothing until you give us our money. So I think that's some of the best advice you've ever given in your whole political career, especially to Black people. Don't you take no for an answer. No, so hey, y'all heard the lady? Don't take no for an answer. Keep asking until they tell us yes.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. No comments? Oh, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting right there. Yeah, so we're going to go into our topic, which is we'll be reading out of the book of Joshua. I was going to read chapters 82 and 83, and if we have a little time, I would go off into 84, but specifically I want to deal with 82 and 83. Okay. So you got a book of Joshua, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
You're going to read 82, chapter 82, and
chapter, okay.
break it down.
We in the black book?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we got. You got. That's all you got is the black book, right?
Yes.
Go ahead. It should be close enough. I'm in another book.
Okay. Chapter 82 of Jasher. And the children of Israel proceeded from Rephidim, and they encamped in the wilderness of Sinai in the third month from their going forth from Egypt. And at that time came Ruel the Midianite, the father-in-law of Moses, with Zipporah his daughter, and her two sons, for he had heard of the wonders of the Lord, which he had done to Israel, that he had delivered them from the hand of Egypt. And Ruel came to Moses to the wilderness where he was encamped, where he was the mountain of God. And Moses went forth to meet his father in law with great honor, and all Israel was with him. And Ruel and his children remained amongst the Israelites for many days. And Ruel knew the Lord from that day forward. And in the third month from the children of Israel's departure from Egypt, on the sixth day thereof, the Lord gave to Israel the 10 commandments on Mount Sinai. 7. And all Israel heard all these commandments, and all Israel rejoiced exceedingly in the Lord on that day. And the glory of the Lord rested upon Mount Sinai, and he called to Moses. And Moses came in the midst of a cloud and ascended the mountain. And Moses was upon the mount 40 days and 40 nights. He ate no bread and drank no water. And the Lord instructed him in the statutes and judgments in order to teach the children of Israel. And the Lord wrote the 10 commandments which he had commanded the children of Israel upon 2 tablets of stone, which he gave to Moses to command the children of Israel. And at the
Okay.
end of
Hold on right there. So it says that in verse 10, and the Lord wrote the 10 commandments. So who the Lord is?
Say that again, Brother Leonard. I didn't hear you.
Verse 10, the Lord wrote. The Lord wrote the 10 commandments. Who the Lord is?
The Lord of hosts, Michael.
Right. So go to the 10 commandments on the movie of Charlton Heston. You saw that movie, right?
Yes, sir. It's been a minute.
Right, but so when Moses up on the mountain, standing on the side of that mountain, remember the whirlwind of fire came, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
whirlwind
Yeah.
of fire came. You can go Google it. Just go Google 10 commandments and then go to the scenes. Type in the scene. So it's a whirlwind of fire came. So they know exactly what's going on. The whirlwind of fire came while Moses on the side of the mountain, and he quoted each commandment. Then that fire went and burned it into the stone. So you think that's coincidence that the fire that's the Lord of hosts, right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't Moses come on the mountain and the bush was a consuming fire?
Yes, sir.
The angel of the Lord was on it. So they know exactly what's going on. So yeah, we go watch that. And then the Most High tell her, I'm gonna read it, I'll find it, and I'll show it to you. Well, he says, he told the Israelites, the Lord was talking, Yahweh was talking, but he said, this great fire that you see now, that's the Lord of hosts. He the great fire. Go to when they came out of Egypt. He says the Yahweh was up in the cloud and it was a fire behind them. That was Lord of hosts. Okay, go ahead.
Jasher chapter 82, verse 11. And at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, when the Lord had finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, then the Lord gave to Moses the tablets of stone, written with the finger of God. And when the children of Israel saw that Moses tarried to come down from the mount, they gathered round Aaron and said, as for this man Moses, we know not what has become of him. Now therefore rise up, make unto us a God who shall go before us, so that thou shalt not die. 14. And Aaron was greatly afraid of the people, and he ordered them to bring him gold, and he made it into a molten calf for the people. And the Lord said to Moses, before he had come down from the mount, get thee down, for thy people whom thou didst bring forth from Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have made to themselves a molten calf, and have bowed down to it. Now therefore leave me, that I may consume them from off the earth, for they are a stiff-necked people. And
So here
Moses
we go.
besought.
So here we go right here. This is what I was talking about. So the 10 spies came back. They saw what the Lord did in Egypt. The 10 spies came back and told them it was giants in the land. They got they freaked out on that, and they turned their back on the Lord. And right here, so who is this? This ain't the children. These are adults. Right here. They can't even wait on Moses to come back off the top of the mountain. They build a golden calf. So look what he says. He says that verse 16, they have made to themselves a molten calf and have bowed down to it. Now therefore leave me that I may consume them from the earth, for they are stiff-necked people. So this is the purpose of the 40 years in the wilderness. He getting rid of the adults. Kids ain't got nothing. The kids ain't in charge. So when he got rid of them after 40 years, they crossed the Jordan, and the children went into the land of Israel, from newborns till 20 years old, and Joshua and Caleb, because Joshua and Caleb, the 2 spies that brought the good report. Okay, go ahead.
Jasher chapter 82, verse 17. And Moses besought the countenance of the Lord, and he prayed to the Lord for the people on account of the calf which they had made. And he afterward descended from the mount, and in his hands were the 2 tablets of stone, which God had given him to command the Israelites. And when Moses approached the camp and saw the calf which the people had made, the anger of Moses was kindled, and he broke the tablets under the mount. And Moses came to the camp, and he took the calf and burned it with fire, and ground it till it became fine dust, and strewed it upon the water, and gave it to the Israelites to drink. And there died of the people by the swords of each other about 3,000 men who had made the calf. 21. And on the morrow Moses said to the people, I will go up to the Lord, peradventure I may make atonement for your sins which you have sinned to the Lord. And Moses again went up to the Lord, and he remained with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. And during the 40 days did Moses entreat the Lord in behalf of the children of Israel. And the Lord hearkened to the prayer of Moses, and the Lord was entreated of him in behalf of Israel. Then spake the Lord to Moses to hew 2 stone tablets, and to bring them up to the Lord, who would write upon them the 10 commandments. Now Moses did so, and he came down and hewed the 2 tablets, and went up to Mount Sinai to the Lord. And the Lord wrote the 10 commandments upon the tablets. And Moses remained yet with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord instructed him in statutes and judgments to impart to Israel. 27. And the Lord commanded him respecting the children of Israel, that they should make a sanctuary for the Lord, that his name might rest therein. And the Lord showed him the likeness of the sanctuary, and the likeness of all its vessels. And at the end of the 40 days, Moses came down from the mount, and the 2 tablets were in his hand. And Moses came to the children of Israel and spake to them all the words of the Lord. And he taught them laws, statutes, and judgments which the Lord had taught him. And Moses told the children of Israel the word of the Lord, that a sanctuary should be made for him to dwell amongst the children of Israel. And the people rejoiced greatly at all the good which the Lord had spoken to them through Moses. And they said, we will do all that the Lord has spoken to thee. And the people rose up like one man, and they made generous offerings to the sanctuary of the Lord. And each man brought the offering of the Lord for the work of the sanctuary and for all its service. 33. And all the children of Israel brought each man of all that was found in his possession for the work of the sanctuary of the Lord, gold, silver, and brass, and everything that was serviceable for the sanctuary. And all the wise men.
Can you read 32 and 33 again?
Yes, sir. Jasher 82, verse 32. And the people rose up like one man, and they made generous offerings to the sanctuary of the Lord. And each man brought the offering of the Lord for the work of the sanctuary and for all its service. 33. And all the children of Israel brought each man of all that was found in his possession for the work of the sanctuary of the Lord, gold, silver, and brass, and everything that was serviceable for the sanctuary.
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, verse 34. And all the wise men who were practiced in work came and made the sanctuary of the Lord according to all that the Lord had commanded, every man in the work in which he had been practiced. And all the wise men in heart made the sanctuary and its furniture and all the vessels for the holy service, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And the work of the sanctuary of the tabernacle was completed at the end of 5 months. And the children of Israel did all that the Lord had commanded Moses. And they brought the sanctuary and all its furniture to Moses, like unto the representation which the Lord had shown to Moses. So did the children of Israel. And Moses saw the work, and behold, they did it as the Lord had commanded him. So Moses blessed them. That was Jasher chapter 82.
Okay, so just based off of what we just read, we see that the Lord had, when he had Moses up on the mountain that second time, he showed him the sanctuary. So Moses knew what it looked like. So he came down, and Most High put a spirit on the Israelites, and they helped him, and they spoiled the Egyptians, so all of them had gold and silver and everything they needed. So they like the scriptures say, they were generous enough that to assist Moses with it, and because Moses had saw in a vision what it looked like, they went to work building, so Moses was able to compare what the Lord had showed him to what they actually had done. And it was good. So I'm saying all this for a reason. He did the same thing to David. He showed David. If you go back and look at it, when you read it, you'll see that he showed David how the temple was going to look. Right here, this is the tabernacle, this is the tent. But he showed David, he showed David what the temple was going to look like. And then he gave David all the provisions, but Solomon built it. And David had showed him, Solomon gave him the blueprint, everything how it's supposed to look. So what he doing right here with Moses, he did the same thing with David. A lot of people don't know that. When it's time to come build a temple. Okay. Anybody got any questions or comments on Joshua 82? Anything that was read? You got any shine a light on anything, or got any questions?
Shalom. On the first set of the commandments, did he read it off, or what was on it the first time? Sorry, Shalom. Did they say what was on the commandments, the first commandments that was brought down the first time when did they say what was on it before he rushed it?
Yeah, same thing was on it the second time. The commandments, the 10 commandments, but Moses used it and he threw it down upon the calf, and he had to go back up again. And the Most High wrote it again on the tablets. Same thing that was on the first one was on the second. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna read this last chapter. This is Joshua chapter 83. So, and for the people that might not know, this is the book of Joshua. It's mentioned in the Bible, and so what we do over here, we're dealing with all the scriptures. We're not going for what the powers that be done told us. We're dealing with the scriptures. And in case you don't know, just like Most High scattered Israel, he scattered his word too. The word was scattered. Okay, you go to Psalm 83. So that all you need is 66 books. That's somebody don't know what time it is. Okay. So chapter 83, Tasha. And in the 12th month, in the 23rd day of the month, Moses took Aaron and his sons, and he dressed them in their garments, and he anointed them, and he did unto them as the Lord had commanded him. And Moses brought up all the offerings which the Lord had on that day commanded him. And Moses afterwards took Aaron and his sons and said to them, for 7 days shall ye remain at the door of the tabernacle, for thus am I commanded. And Aaron and his sons did all that the Lord had commanded them through Moses, and they remained for 7 days at the door of the tabernacle. So right here, if you're trying to figure out who the suffering servant is, here it is right here. Aaron and his seed, the priests and the Levites. This is suffering servant in Isaiah 53. Aaron and his sons did all that the Lord had commanded them through Moses, and they remained for 7 days at the door of the tabernacle. Verse 4. And on the 8th day, being the first day of the first month, in the second year when the Israelites departed from Egypt, Moses erected the sanctuary. And Moses put up all the furniture of the tabernacle and the furniture of the sanctuary, and he did all that the Lord had commanded him. Okay. And Moses called to Aaron and his sons, and they brought, see that Moses called on the Aaron and his sons, and they brought the burnt offerings and the sin offerings for themselves and the children of Israel, as the Lord has commanded Moses. On that day, the two sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, took strange fire and brought it before the Lord, who had not commanded them. And a fire went forth from before, saying a fire went forth from before the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord on that day. Then on the day when Moses had completely erected the sanctuary, the princes of the children of Israel began to bring their offerings before the Lord for the dedication of the altar. So right here, it says, then on that day when Moses had completed the sanctuary, the princes of the children of Israel, so who the princes? Each tribe got a patriarch, and that patriarch got a son. And so when the patriarch died, the prince became the patriarch, and then his sons became the princes. Right? So anyway, it says, and they brought 9, and all the offerings which they brought, each man in his day, 1 silver charger weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meat offering. 1 spoon weighing 10 shekels of gold, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and 1 kid of a goat for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of a year old. Thus did the 12 princes. See that? 12 princes. The oldest, firstborn of each one of these patriarchs, these 12 princes of Israel, day by day, each man in his day. And it was after this, in the 13th day of the month, that Moses commanded the children of Israel to observe the Passover. And the children of Israel kept the Passover in its season in the 14th day of the month, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Excuse me. Okay. So did the children of Israel. In the 2nd month, on the first day before, therefore, the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, number the heads of all the males of the children of Israel from 20 years old and upward, thou and thy brother Aaron and the 12 princes of Israel. And Moses did so. And Aaron came with the 12 princes of Israel, and they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. And the number of the children of Israel by their houses and their fathers from 20 years old and upward. See, this is who was responsible at that time, 20 years old and upward. But they kept rebelling against the Lord, so they wandered in the wilderness till he got rid of those. And who went into the land was from newborns all the way up to 20 years old. These people he got rid of in the wilderness. was 603,550. But the children of the Levites were not numbered among their brethren, the children of Israel. And the number of all the males of the children of Israel from 1 month old and upward were 22,273. This who went into the land of Israel. And the number of the children of Levites from 1 month old and above was 22,000. And Moses placed the priests and the Levites, each man to his service and to his burden, to serve in the sanctuary of the tabernacle, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And on the 20th day of the month, the cloud was taken away from the tabernacle of testimony. At that time, the children of Israel continued their journey from the wilderness of Sinai, and they took a journey of 3 days, and the cloud rested upon the wilderness of Paran. There the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, for they had provoked the Lord and asked him for meat that they might eat, right? And the Lord hearkened to their voice, gave them meat which they ate for 1 month. But after this, the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he smote them with a great slaughter, and they were buried there in that place. And the children of Israel called that place Kibbutz Havilah, because there they buried the people that lusted flesh. And they departed from Kibbutz Havilah, and pitched in Hazarah, which is in the wilderness of Paran. And while the children of Israel were in Hazarah, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Miriam on account of Moses, and she became leprous, white as snow. And she was confined without a camp for 7 days until she had been received again after her leprosy. And the children of Israel afterward departed from Hazarah and pitched in the tent, pitched in the end of the wilderness of Paran. At that time, the Lord spoke to Moses to send 12 men from the children of Israel, 1 man to a tribe, to go explore the land of Canaan. This is what I was talking about. He sent spies out, and the people came back. 10 of these spies gave a bad report, and the people went for it. It says that Moses sent the 12 men, and they came to the land of Canaan to search and examine it, and they explored the whole land from the wilderness of Sin to Rechab, as thou comest to Chamath. And at the end of the 40 days, they came to Moses and Aaron, and they brought him the word as it was in their hearts. And 10 of the men brought up an evil report to the children of Israel of the land which they had explored, saying, it is better for us to return to Egypt than to go to this land, a land that consumes its inhabitants. So the reason why they're saying it consumes its inhabitants, giants dwell there, and they was afraid of them. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb, these are the 2 spies of Jumpnah, who were of those that explored the land, said, the land is exceedingly good. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us to this land and give it to us, for it is a land flowing with milk and honey. But the children of Israel would not hearken to them, and they hearkened to the words of the 10 men who had brought up an evil report of the land. So we coming around to this same situation right here. So you got to be very, very careful that you don't do what these people doing, right? So it says 40. And the Lord heard the murmuring of the children of Israel, and he was angry, and he swore, saying, surely, here you go, what I told you, surely not one man of this wicked generation shall see the land for 20 years and old and upward, excepting Caleb, the son of Judah, and Joshua. Like I said, these the only 2 adults went in. Say, but surely this wicked generation shall perish in the wilderness. This is what the 40 years about. And their children shall come to the land, and they shall possess it. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the end of the wicked generation, because they did not follow the Lord. And the people dwelled in the wilderness of Paran a long time, and they afterward proceeded to the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. So, like I said, let's look at that. There ain't nothing new on the sun. We're getting ready to be in the same predicament. So you're gonna be a nut bucket like they was. If you're 20 years and older, and the truth come your way, and you bumping your gums with some bull crap, you're gonna end up just like them. So, like I said, go back to what these people doing. They're attacking the youth. That's who the Most High dealing with. But the whole purpose of what they done with our scriptures is for you when you're in your youth. That's when go back to David, Solomon, all the men. He dealt with them when they was young boys. And they you know, they youth, they vitality. And so you gotta look at that now. The truth coming, and you some old ass nut bucket, and you ain't trying to hear it. You doing the same thing, and you ain't doing nothing no different than what your forefathers did. And they're gonna be looking for your ass, cause you're off. So the same thing now. Ain't nothing new under the sun. That's the reason you're having these classes. And this information being revealed. And you thinking that we've been over here at least 400 years or so, and you done adopted these people ways, thinking you got a voice, or you special. You know, it don't work like that. We see exactly how everything happened in the past, and the Most High, the Lord of hosts, changed not. So, like I said, you got to be very careful on the way you think, the way you talk, all that. Because we in a phase now where it ain't business as usual. Okay. Any comments, questions before we vacate the premises? Everybody good?
Shalom. Yes, sir. And I want to thank you for enlightening that on me, because when I was thinking about the youth, the 18 to 26 going into the war,
Right.
to go into war, I thought about how cruel that would be. But now that you have revealed how it is, that I can see now. Yes, sir.
Right. Like I said, you got to go back and look at that. The older folks, they set in their ways. Like I said, they gave you New Testament and JC. Now, Creator, we at the end of Creator showing you he got men out here that's apt and showing you that that's garbage. You keep on dealing with it if you want to. So that's what it is. That's what old age, elderly get you. You get stuck up in your ways. Yeah. So that's the same thing they did. Okay. You don't want to be there. You better pray, fast, or whatever you gotta do, and get on the right foot, get on the good foot. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Until so nobody have nothing, we're gonna close out right. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, like I said, it's that time. Thank you. Any time now. Like you said, it's all hell gonna break loose because we see what they doing. They wrapping it up. You know, they know what's getting ready to happen. Okay. Okay. Tripping. Okay. So with that being said, I'll say shalom. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Well, we'll be reading through the Tanakh. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, everyone.
Shalom, everyone.